I told you there was treasure in this trash. Well, as luck would have it, my friend Spencer started a trash business with almost no money that does $50,000 a month.
And so I bought the truck, started making payments on it, never took $1 out of my pocket.
How much revenue does this one truck generate?
9 times 800 would be your number.
I still can't get over that Wiley, Texas would be $10 million a year on the 2 trucks. $210,000 a month. That's good, that's 40% margin. It's one of the magic things about what you're doing is you're not only getting 100% financing for these trucks, but you're buying them for like 70% discounts.
So we've never had a customer cancel.
Oh my gosh. So today we're gonna break down how he finds customers, how he finds contracts with both neighborhoods and cities, and how he finances trucks like this for almost no money down. So let's get going. All right, so you're a software guy.
Yeah.
How do you go from software to trash?
I think trash is software, right? Subscription based?
I guess so.
That's basically the thought process. So I have 1 or 2 technically 2 software companies. And when this just popped up, it felt like it landed in my lap. I think you would think the same thing. Trash doesn't get picked up. There's 400 houses in here. You know, the Chris Koerner brain goes, 400 houses, $35 to $60 a month.
12,000 a month?
Yeah, it gets out of control quickly. And you're like, I wonder how hard it would be to get people to sign up. I don't think my brain ever flipped over to like, do I want to do this? It was more like, let's just see if it's possible first.
Well, how hard is it to just post something to Facebook?
Right, that's exactly right. So I was like, how can I make this like a no-brainer? Which stole that from Hermosi, which was like, all right, the common sentiment is everyone hates the existing trash company.
Why did they hate it?
So it sold to private equity. The expenses got cut. I'm assuming some drivers quit, but like the customer support was miserable. And so people just started quitting in droves. And in our neighborhood, something happened where people they didn't pick up the trash for like a week or 2, and people were irate. And so
that's all it took was a week or 2.
Yeah, I think it was more than that. So it was a week or 2 didn't get picked up, and then there were emails coming out that the billing was changing. People were getting double billed in the handoff from one company to the other. And then I think the nail in the coffin was they said, we're not picking up anything outside of the bins. And depending on where you're at watching this video, you can see why that would be, right?
Yeah.
You just don't want to have to get out, right? Yeah. The effectiveness and the scalability of this truck in particular is being able to use that claw and tip it without having to get out.
Yeah.
And when you have to get out, it crushes you in this truck ×2 because in a normal truck, you toss it in the back, you keep moving. On this one, you got to come up with creative ways to load it 9 feet.
It could be the difference between servicing 400 homes in a day and 100.
Oh, shit, that's it. You nailed it. So basically with this truck, you can do 15 seconds a house. If you're doing a rear loader, it can get up to a minute. And so like if you just times that by drive time and then 400 houses, it gets out of control quickly. So anyways, we got...
so you go to Facebook.
Go to Facebook, and I'm trying to put an offer up. And the offer that I wanted to put up was supposed to be no-brainer. And I'm like, listen, they're gonna service this neighborhood no matter what. So the first part of my offer was like, hey, if I can get 200 customers to sign up, there's 400 people who live in here. I figured, hey, if I could get half of them, that would be huge.
Yeah.
If I get half of them, that'd be huge. And if we don't hit that number, 100% refund. There's no risk. Like you either get your trash pickup or you get your money back.
And that's somewhat risky to you because if you refund everyone, Stripe or whoever will keep all the refund fees.
Yeah.
Right?
But
it's a small risk.
Yeah, it was a percentage risk, basically. So now to counteract that, I'm glad you said that because that's something most people don't catch.
Yeah.
We put in Stripe, you can extend the escrow before the money gets transferred to you. So we extended it as far as it would go.
To mitigate that risk.
Mitigate it. So before they transfer it to your bank account, they ask you like, how long do you want us, you can have it same day or you can have it, and you pay more money. Anyways. So to mitigate the risk, we kept in an escrow as long as we could, and we ended up getting, I think, in 15 days, something like 150 people, and then ended up getting like in the first year about 200.
Oh my gosh, so you hit your goal.
Yep, so we hit the goal. I didn't have to refund everyone. That was part of the offer. It was like, hey, if we don't hit the goal, I'll refund you all the money, no risk. And then if we do hit the goal, we're gonna use the cash to go buy a trash truck. Now I asked for 3 months in advance.
Yeah, so 105
And so $105. So we got basically 200 people to send us $105. Now that was over probably a 45-day period for the 200. We got the initial 150 in like 10, 15 days.
So that's like 15,000 bucks?
Yeah.
In like pre-sales?
15,000 in pre-sales, and if you really look at it, it's like $5,000 a month in reoccurring.
Yeah. What's crazy is like you were like totally transparent with them. I've never owned a trash business. I don't have a trash business. business.
Yeah.
I know that these guys suck.
Yeah.
I could do it better.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
hard could it be?
Yeah, yeah.
Most people would be tempted to be like, listen, my brother has a trash business.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, I know what I'm doing. But
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
like, hey, all the cards on the table. But you made it risk-free for them. That's what
Right.
offset the lack of experience, right?
I think deep down, I've always wanted to do a pre-sale.
Yeah.
And so like, this was like, you always hear people talking about like Noah Kagan is a big one. I'm like, oh, do pre-sale. And I was like, you know what, let's try it. So I think the initial thing was like, can I make this work?
But people don't do pre-sales for garbage businesses.
No,
and you're
no.
like, but that's
No.
what I love. I love taking like software concepts and putting it in a sweaty business.
Right. And so part of me wasn't even like thinking about the trash aspect at all. And then I was like, okay, let's do this. I think the first day it was like thousands of dollars, and I started to shit my pants a little bit. And then at one point we had, like I said, 15. I think when we hit 150, which my goal was 200, I turned to my wife. I'm like, dude, we got $15,000 and we've got to decide in this window, I think it was like 60-day window, it's going to get put into our bank account.
Yeah.
And then if that happens, the refund fees get hit because you're doing a double transaction.
They keep 3% and they charge a fee.
Right, unless you kept it in the escrow.
Yeah.
Right. So then you can send it
I
back.
didn't even know that. That's clutch.
Yeah. And so I was like, you know, what do we do? So then I started Googling how to buy, you know, where to buy a trash truck and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how we started.
All right, Spencer. So how do you go from 15,000 in pre-sales to actually fulfilling on this service?
Yeah, I think it started with like Googling garbage trucks for sale.
Okay.
And then I ended up basically seeing like everything was so expensive, and then I wanted to start asking people for help. So I went on to Facebook Marketplace, typed in garbage truck. There was a bunch of garbage trucks on Facebook Marketplace, and here's what I learned. Anyone who's selling a garbage truck owns a trash company. So I end up having conversations with these guys who are selling garbage trucks, and I start saying like, well, where do I buy these at?
Yeah.
Where do you buy them at? And one of the guys goes, well, why don't you join the mom and pop trash group? And I'm like, never heard of that. That didn't pop up in the search. What a weird name.
Yeah. That's for operators?
Yeah, for operators. And so look it. So I joined that. And he goes, if I were you, one of my recommendations would be to buy a side loader. You don't have to run 2 trucks or 2 employees. Side loaders, will robot arm grabs it and tips it. And his words, not mine, were if you can buy a side loader that's under CDL, that's the holy grail truck.
CDL means you need a special license.
CDL means you need a special license, and special license means you get paid more.
So a holy grail truck is you only need 1 employee or no employees, and you don't need a special license. You could be operating tomorrow.
Right.
Okay.
And so coincidentally, one popped up on Facebook group by this guy in Tucson, Arizona, who I think later on I learned bought it at an auction house from the city.
So he was flipping it?
He didn't tell me that, but yeah, he was flipping it.
Okay.
So anyways, I bought it sight unseen, and he just sent me videos, and we agreed to a price.
What was the price?
It was $35,000.
Okay.
And then it ended up being $5,000 in shipping. We agreed to a price.
$5,000
I said,
in
this
shipping.
is gonna be crazy. I was like, but can I send you half now, half later? Because I don't know anything, I don't know you, I didn't see the truck, like I don't know anything about this. He goes, no problem, which made me trust him more.
Yeah.
He goes, I've never done a deal like this. I'm like, I've never bought a garbage truck, so we're in this together. And so anyways, we bought it, I sent him the wire, he sends me a picture of it being loaded onto a shipping truck, logistics truck, and I had it shipped here. It was about $5 grand, we were in it for 40, and I 100% financed it. That's the fun part. So, from software, I opened an Amex. I'm like, let's get those points, let's get those flights. And Amex sent me an email for like just being a good customer, and it said, hey, do you want $40,000 in personal loan? They like just send that email. And I was getting it like every month.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I gonna do with this? And then the opportunity was there. So I clicked accept thinking I was gonna get a call from like, approval and, financials and all this stuff. The money just got put in my account. Literally one click, and like 3 hours, I had 40 grand in my bank account. And I was like,
cow.
I think it was actually 30 grand because that was the price of the truck.
Yeah.
And then I ended up having to pay $5 for the shipping. And so I bought it, and the payment, it was good terms of 7%, and it's not tied to the equipment.
Yeah, so
right?
they can't take it.
Yeah, they can't take it. And so it's tied to me personally, which kind of sucks, but it's $700 a month payment. And since it's tied to me instead of the truck, it's like 6% interest, 7% interest. 7% interest, 10 years. It's like the greatest loan ever.
So you make one payment in a day's worth of work.
Yeah.
Less than a day.
Yeah. And so we were making $5,000 a month at the time, doing 1 day a week, 4 days a month. And I'm like, $700, like we can afford this. And so I bought the truck and started making payments on it. Never took $1 out of my pocket.
So when it rolls off the flatbed, I mean, how do they get it here?
That's another story that we can go into. There's logistics companies that sell you the last mile.
Yeah.
So there was a guy in Tucson who was coming back to Dallas and had no route. They call it empty route.
Yeah, yeah. Empty
and
leg.
I called a broker, and the broker's like, I got 3 empty leg guys. Guy picks it up, takes it to like a truck yard. I had to go meet him over in Wiley, and we just drove it off the trailer, which is another problem. The battery, they left the lights on from Tucson to here, so the battery was dead.
How did you learn how to operate this thing?
Well, it's a 100 CDL truck. I mean, I didn't. Basically, like, the guy gets here, and I go, can you show me how to drive this? He goes, what do you mean? I was like, I've never drove anything like this. He goes, what do you mean? You just bought a... I was like, I, peasant.
Yeah, I'm saying
low
I'm
IQ,
an idiot.
Can you show me how this works? And he showed me how to drive it, and this trucker who delivered it
This guy who has no business showing you how to drive it.
Yeah.
He's not obligated.
Paid just to deliver it, is showing me how to drive it in the parking lot of the trucking center. And then I got it to my house, which was parked right there. I had to figure out how to work the arm, because there's no guide to that. And the truck, by the way, is a 2006 with 200,000 miles. And so anyone who's in the trash industry is like, oh, I'd never touch that, you're crazy. I'm like, I don't know this stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
that can be a feature though. That can be not
I'm
a bug.
like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, that's a high risk truck, or that's a lot of miles, or...
That's a good framework to touch on, because if you would have like done this market research,
Yeah.
which a lot of people do,
Yeah,
they do
yeah.
that to feel good. Let's go
Yeah.
talk to a few business owners. They would say, dude, get out.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
out of the business.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Your guys won't show up for work. Don't buy anything.
You're gonna go through tires. That truck's gonna break. You're gonna be stranded.
Yes. I'm telling you, sometimes the people in the industry are the worst people to talk
100%.
to. Ignorance can be bliss.
100%.
Naivety can be a superpower.
100%.
Now, if you paid 35, what was it worth on day one?
Yeah, I think I could have sold it for like 60.
Wow.
And
So you bought it right.
I think he bought it for like 10 or 15 at the auction. It is an old truck.
Yeah.
But any under CDL truck that has an automatic arm, people kill for those.
And you're still running that.
It's still
truck.
running, yeah.
A year and a half later?
We passed it in the video.
Yeah.
In the video.
How many miles are on it today after 18 months?
215 probably. And it's we keep up with the maintenance, do the oil changes. I think the engine's strong. I think the hydraulic, the trash compactor part will fail before the engine does.
All right, so tell me about these bins. How'd you get your hands on these bins?
So we had to get bins in like less than 30 days. And dude, if you can Google like buy trash cans, it doesn't, like Home Depot pops up.
Yeah.
So like it's really hard to find. They're called poly carts, Chris.
Okay. Okay.
So Facebook group will tell you kind of what to call them. Did some Google searching and stumbled across a company called Cascade in Michigan that makes bins for everyone.
Okay.
And so we called them, and I was like, I need it in less than 30 days. She said, not possible, not for us, maybe somebody else. Said, where can I get them? She goes, there's this company called B&G Sales in Grand Rapids that buys his used trash bins as like liquidation, like trash company sells, they don't want the branding anymore. And so they had an inventory of like, I think 500 used bins, and I bought 200 of them. And I wanna say it was all in for like 10 grand, I think. It was 10 grand with the shipping. And then during December, like the 24th, like the day before Christmas, and like 2 days before, there are 200 used trash bins in my driveway with a wall of trash bins, and they were not clean. Like it was like they took them, and some of them still had trash in them. They delivered them, and they delivered them to my house, and we unloaded them in my driveway. And 200 trash bins is way more trash bins than you think it is. Like the whole driveway's full. And most of the neighborhood was fine with it because they knew what I was doing from the Facebook. And then each day for like a week, I would pull out like 20 of them and power wash them in the driveway. And something that I didn't calculate was like I had to rebrand them. So we ordered them, and they didn't get here in time, and I couldn't wait. So I put out bins with someone else's name on it.
From Tucson, Arizona.
And everyone who had signed up like knew what was happening. So they did not care at all.
You built a community. Like...
Yeah. They were invested in the story.
Yeah.
And so what I ended up doing was the stickers got here. I put them in the garbage truck, and each day I would, once a week, sticker the bins until we had them all stickered.
Yeah.
I think the whole all-in startup cost, you're like, finance the truck at $700. The bins were 10 grand. So that was where I probably made a mistake. I probably could have financed the bins or took some of that cash.
Put them on a credit card.
Yeah, put them on a credit card. I could have done that better.
Yeah.
Because what we ended up doing was like cleaning out the 15K or like 10,000 of the 15,000 quickly.
Yeah. But really, if you consider the $15,000 in pre-orders, you're like cash flow positive even after you buy the bins.
Correct. Yeah, correct. And so we had some cash left over, which covered the dump fees for the 3 months in the gas.
Yeah.
So arguably, if I'm trying to clickbait you, there was no cash out of pocket. And then it just, word of mouth grew from there. We rolled out a referral program. People were like invested in the story, which I think is like one of the harder things to keep going. So like if I could have everyone in Texas sign up based on the story, I think we would landslide everyone. Yeah. Now we've reached a point of scale where they're like, oh, I just saw a random bin on the side of the road to sign up and they have no clue who I am or who the story is or it's just reached that
But the story
level.
got you to that point.
Right. And I wish that I did a better job or if there is a better way to get people to sign up from the story.
Yeah.
Because I think people buy from people they like.
Yeah.
And if it's this or that, the story might get people to sign up. But here's what I'll also say. No one is signing up for our trash service because they're like, that's outside of the story. They're like, that Spencer kid and those reviews. You know why they switch is because they get pissed at their vendor.
Yeah.
I can't win business just to win business.
Yeah.
You have to mess up for me to win the business.
But luckily, a lot of people are messing up.
Right. People aren't just, the big common misconception is you could name this whatever and just be there when somebody messes up and you'll get the business.
Yeah, it's timing.
That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
Just have a couple reviews, have some neighborhood word of mouth, but the reviews and neighborhood word of mouth isn't enough to get somebody to switch.
Yeah.
It's just not. And that's something that you have to wait for them to mess up and then be there.
Yeah. These videos take a lot of time and cost a lot of money to film. So if you want to say thanks, just hit subscribe, please. You might think you're subscribed to me, but about 2/3 of my viewers are not subscribed. Hit subscribe, it would mean the world. Thank you. Okay, so pre-sales are cool. Getting all this money up front is cool. How do you sustain the business once you exhaust this neighborhood?
So referrals is the first key thing that we leaned on.
You ask for them?
Yeah, yeah. And we rewarded them.
Yeah.
So I would say a secret, actually maybe the secret is referrals, because as we might have mentioned before, people won't just sign up because they like you.
Yeah.
So if your neighbor tells you that your trash company is awesome and they start bragging on you, oh dude, they send me these jokes, they're a really great company, that helps. And somebody will switch for that. So we created a referral system that gave someone a free month of trash every single time they refer a neighbor.
Okay.
All they have to do is put their name in and we'll put a credit on their account.
Yeah.
And they get it. So we've had somebody refer up to 16 houses before and got a whole year's worth of trash, which is crazy. So that's the best, right? Because I don't have to pay for that.
Yeah.
I'm paying $35, but then my margin is cooked into that. So it's the best way to get business.
Yeah. All right, so Facebook ads.
So Facebook ads, basically, I met a kid who was doing 50 grand a month power washing trash cans.
Okay.
And he was 26, 27. And I'm like
one of those bin cleaning?
Yes.
Yeah.
The can man.
Yeah.
His name's Cade. And I called Cade and I'm like, dude, and I just wanted to talk to him because I saw his stickers were on my bins.
Yeah.
Remember how they arrived dirty?
Yeah.
I put some of them out dirty. So people hired him to come clean them. So now I'm seeing his stickers on my stuff.
Yeah.
So I call him and just kid, normal conversation, and then, start asking him about his business and stuff. And he kind of leaks to me that he's doing really good. And I'm like, what? How? This is such a you could be defeated by a $50 power washer.
Yeah. And it's such a low ticket service.
Yeah, and I told you it's hard to get people to switch to my stuff. Imagine that.
Yeah.
And so anyways, he goes, Facebook ads. And I'm like, what do you mean Facebook ads? He's like, dude, we put out Facebook ads, people sign up, and we've got it, the unit economics work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, dude, I did Facebook ads. They don't work.
Yeah.
And
I've heard that so many times.
Right.
Oh, I tried Google Ads, doesn't work.
It doesn't work. I spent money.
Dude.
And he goes, you didn't set them up right. And I was like, okay, what do I do? Teach me. And he goes, all right. He goes, the algorithm has to learn who your ideal customer is, and most people never spend that number to teach the algorithm. And that sounded crazy to me.
You cut it off too soon.
Sounded crazy to me. And you have to set it up right. He goes, so here's what I want you to do, Spencer. He's like, he gave me a guy on Fiverr that just was responsible for installing the Google Pixel, which I'm a software guy, that should be easy. But part of it was having a success page. So we'd send them to Stripe to check out.
To track the conversion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's the big thing. So you send them to Stripe to check out.
It wasn't optimizing for conversions.
Right.
It was optimizing for clicks.
It was just spending my money. It gave me what I wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
It gave me what I wanted. So he puts in a success page that tracks the conversion through Stripe. So they would leave our website, but when they get back, they hit the success page. It tells Facebook that they're doing the good job. Now it comes down to getting enough of those people in the system. So what we ended up, so what Cade said was, I need to spend $300 a day for like 5 days or a week.
And for a cheapo like me.
Dude, yeah. I'm like counting my shillings. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do this.
Because you're thinking, I need to get 10 customers for that.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get that.
No, you're going to get your face kicked.
Yeah.
Basically is what happened. And so that's kind of what happened. So we started getting our face kicked in a little bit, and I'm dying every day.
Yeah.
It's like watching like a slot machine just take your money, and I'm like going, no.
Except there's no fun.
Right, there's no fun. Yeah. I wasn't getting free drinks. And so anyways, finally we got a customer, then got another customer, and then we got it to the point where it got it dialed in where it was $100 a customer.
Yeah.
They'd spend 105. So in my head, I'm like, I figured it out.
And you know they're gonna stick around for years until they move. So $100 to acquire a customer is good.
Right. I was like, I figured it out, but the truth is I didn't, because I still gotta buy the bins, right? There's a bunch of expenses on that. But in my head, I'm like, I spend 100, they spend 105, the paid ads have paid for themselves.
Yeah.
And like you said, they don't churn. So like I should put all my money into this. Since then, we've spent more and more money to the point now where we've gotten it on certain months down to like $35 to get a customer.
Now, let me ask you this. Like, your biggest competition is customers moving away. Do you know yet how long a customer will stay with you?
No, because we haven't had somebody cancel since we started. Now, we're not that old, right? We're not even 2 years old yet. And I think
that's silly. That's just silly.
I say that, like, we've had people move and cancel, but we leave the bins. We've never had somebody cancel because of our service. I like to say the people who left us, we fired.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a good fit. You didn't like us, we didn't like you. We'll refund you all the cash. And so we've had, I think that happened twice.
If you take everyone who's moved in a year and like divide and do all that, do you have any idea how long people are gonna stay in their homes? Like what your churn will be based on people moving?
I think I'll sell the company before they churn. Because when the bins are at the house, if they leave, we still keep that customer.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like, unless I just start really doing bad, which I don't plan on doing, I don't think there's a reason for somebody to switch, because they're not gonna start taking it to the dump themselves.
If a customer moves, there's a really good chance you're gonna get the new resident as a customer, right?
So we close their account, but we keep the address open. So then when you're like setting up a CRM, it's like, how do you do it on the address or the customer? Like we do it on the customer, but.
I think I read that people stay in their homes like 4 years on average. So let's just say, hypothetically, if we're trying to calculate your monthly churn, that you have 100 customers. It's static, right?
Yeah.
Every year you're gonna lose 25 of them. Right? Because you divide by 4.
Yep.
And then let's say you're able to keep half of those because you send a flyer or whatever and you convert them. That would be like 12.5% churn per year or 1% per month, right?
I'm telling you, I
so
think
if you look like a software business, your churn's gonna be 10 to 20%.
Yeah.
This is like 1%.
Yeah, and I would argue that if you leave the bin there, it's gonna be even lower, because then they're like, well, now I gotta call you to come get it.
Yeah.
And now I gotta call them to bring a new one.
Put your number on the sticker, a sticker on the bin, they're gonna call you.
Well, we make our own bins now.
Yeah.
So we manufacture it from scratch, have it hot stamped with our logo on it, and put it in that driveway. When they cancel, we don't come pick it up. We're like, we'll leave that bin there.
With it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, what happens is the new person will move in and they'll just call. They're like, hey, here's our trash company. And now we're to the point where we're on the HOA, we're in the utility districts.
Yeah.
The neighbors are telling you who to sign up for when you move in. So it's like a snowball effect, because you're putting out little billboards in front of people's house every single day.
Yeah.
It's one of, like, if you were to just drive down a street, you don't really know who the roofer is. You don't really know who made the mailbox or mowed the lawn. Maybe the lawn guy will put like the, spray sign on, but the trash is like very obviously branded.
It's true.
So the referral marketing, it's like herd marketing almost, where it's like, hey, 2, 3, 5, 20, and it really kind of scales well. And that's the best way, because now we're not paying for those ads. So the bins probably are our best source, but they don't tell the story like your neighbor would or a Facebook ad would.
An old wise man once said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So if you want to build a business like this, sweaty startup, internet, AI, it doesn't matter, check out tkowners.com. It's where me, people like Spencer, and builders, entrepreneurs, is where we hang out. We're building businesses. So come check us out. You won't regret it. All right, so if conservatively 1% or less of your customers leave every month, that means that the lifetime value of one of your customers is $3,500. And you're spending 30-ish to get them if it's a referral, or 100-ish to get them from Facebook ads. That's crazy. Like, you're putting in $1 and you're getting back 100. What's stopping others from starting this business?
Well, nothing. I mean, we passed a guy at the landfill earlier today who was pulling a trailer full of trash. So like, that's the easiest way to start it. I mean, if you were to really bootstrap this, I think the pre-sales thing I was lucky with. I don't think everyone can do that unless there's a perfect storm of like a business sells and the new buyer sucks. Right? So that was a perfect storm, and I'm lucky. I'll be the first one to call it out. I'm sure it'll be in the comments. But if you wanted to start this on your own, you could definitely start it for like next to nothing, right? So like, you don't get the cash influx that I had because of the pre-sales. You could buy a trailer and start it there. There's a guy on Twitter that I follow right now, which is funny because he's starting a trash company, and he started with just bulk trash pickup, like a truck and a trailer. And he then moved into dumpsters.
Like 1-800-GOT-JUNK type stuff?
Yep, 100%. Basically, he was just picking up people's crap on like Facebook. Like, that's the lowest entry, and you can start with a truck. Maybe not a Cybertruck. You know, you can start with like a F-150. But like, you can bill for that, like $600, whatever. And that can be how you start, and then you get a trailer, and then that trailer can not only take stuff to the landfill, but it can pick up bags. That is the easiest and cheapest way to start. I don't know if I personally would have done that, just because it's a lot of work. This felt like I could cut the start line and do it without. But that's how I would do it. I would start with bulk pickup. Facebook will pick up your trash. Then I would go to trailer. Then I'd go to trailer drop-in. And then I would build, I think a big part that we talked about is like building a brand. If you can tell a story, this is where people get lost. You don't have to be a good storyteller. Just say like, hey, I'm gonna start picking up trash, and here's why. I didn't like this, we're doing this, so I'm gonna start picking up trash. And then you just keep doing that, and then what happens is this weird kind of snowball effect happens where you get branded bins. Now the bins are out. Now you've got 10 customers, and you just say, hey, if you don't mind, can you refer your neighbors? I'll give you a free month of trash. And now you've got 2 snowballs rolling. And I personally think that that's a good way to go about it, because if you were to exit, subscription businesses tend to sell more, because instead of like running a plumbing company or HVAC company, where I'm not knocking them, it's a little bit of a brand
mix. You're only as good as your next deal.
Next month. Next month. You have to start over every single month. Where I might not grow as fast as them or have the ticket volume that they have. I would love a $15,000, HVAC install. Our stuff snowballs. So they might win in the short term, and if you don't save a bunch of that money and tell a good story and do branding and radio ads and everything, this I can not tell as good a story. But after 30 years, if you look at the 2 businesses, I bet you, well, I could be wrong. It's all based on the operator. But subscription businesses, much like software, sell at a multiple.
Back to the pre-sale thing, I feel like if someone's watching this and they wanted to do the pre-sale, they could proactively join 10 to 20 neighborhood Facebook groups
100%.
In their local area and just watch. Just sit in the background and watch. Then you go in and search for the term trash, pickup, garbage. Are people already complaining? And just start planting seeds. And then one day, eventually, a contract's going to come up for renewal. Something's going to happen. They're going to sell the private equity. You don't have to sit here and wait the whole time. You can start launching the business, but you could you could set all these hooks in the water on next door groups, Facebook groups.
Maybe I was subtly trying to convince people not to compete with me. I'm just kidding. No, you're 100% right. With the Facebook groups, you have huge distribution, right? So like when you start, you don't have to necessarily even wait. You could just say like, hey, I'm starting, tell your story here, tell your story there. I think some stuff that I would have done different, like I didn't put weight on Google reviews at all. And LSA ads. That's something that I don't think enough people talk about. For the first 1.5 years of this business, we did not do a Google review, and that was a mistake, because when ChatGPT came out, what ended up happening, in my opinion, is Google started prioritizing local businesses. And so I think Google reviews, number 1, was something I would do different. And then the LSA ads, for those who don't know, an LSA ad, you only pay when you get the lead. Versus like Google pay-per-click, where you pay to be top of the rankings. LSA, you just pay for like when you get a customer. And like I set that thing at like $50 a day. And just let it go. And so I think that's probably one thing I would redo. When you first asked that question, I'm sitting there going like, I think we bought the truck right. It's still running today in the route. I think we bought the bins the cheapest way. Maybe I would have financed them. I think if you have a subscriber base or you're building a subscriber base, have the customers pay for your needs.
Yeah.
Not you.
Yeah.
So even if it's a bad loan terms, if it fits inside of the business model, you could, the accountant, pencil pusher guy is gonna tell you you're paying whatever interest rate, and you can kind of look at it and be like, am I though? Because the customer is paying for it. And so I think there's a world where it's like, if you can keep the most amount of cash you can, eventually it'll be paid off.
Yeah.
And that way you can invest in marketing, get more customers to help pay it off faster.
Yeah.
I think any bulk purchase if it can be avoided, it should.
Yeah.
It should be financed.
All right, so what could be a hang up in this whole business model is the fact that many people live in an HOA.
Yeah.
The trash truck is ugly and big and unsightly.
It smells.
Yeah, where do you even keep it?
Yeah, so we keep it at an RV storage facility, which is kind of funny because there's just a bunch of RVs and then a garbage truck.
Yeah.
And we tried parking it in front of the house. It was here for 4 days before we got a letter.
Okay.
And then it was like, all right, let's get it out of here. So we went and rented an RV storage facility down the road, which I think it's about 4 minutes door to door.
Wow. And what does it cost per month to keep it there?
So I think we're at like $200 a month.
And that's like your fixed overhead, right?
Right, and that's for 2 trucks. And
$200 for 2 trucks?
Yeah. And then we have another storage facility for the garbage bins, which I guess we're weird because we put the garbage bins in covered, like an actual storage unit, like a 30-foot storage unit.
Okay, but you don't have any other lot or building or warehouse?
No. Soon, I wish.
Just your house and $200 a month? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of think that's one of the magic things about what you're doing is you're not only getting 100% financing for these trucks, but you're buying them for like 70% discounts.
Yeah.
Can we go see the storage facility and then you can break down that secret sauce?
100%. Right. You're going to love this place.
All right, let's check it out.
All right. So you'll love this, Chris. Municipality truck, Facebook marketplace group. There's trash truck groups.
Oh, sure.
A shit ton of them. There's like 4 or 5 of them. There's used trash trucks, under CDL trash trucks, 4-wheel trash, crazy trash truck groups.
And you're in all of them?
All of them, of course. And we totaled a garbage truck, which sucked, and I was looking for a new one.
Okay.
But anyways, so I needed a truck immediately because our backup truck was running the daily routes and we had outgrown it. So in these Facebook groups, I'm just scouring looking for used trucks. I want something that can take a whole truck, a whole day's worth of trash instead of like half of the day. Because if you have to go to the dump twice, it's an hour there, hour back. You're wasting 3 hours.
And that's the name of the game is route density, right?
Route density. And then one trip to the dump is huge. So I was looking for something bigger and I'm scrolling through Facebook and there's a guy in there saying, I'm having a municipality auction. And this is where the Chris mindset starts going. In Wichita Falls.
I know where that is. Right on the border.
Right on the border, Wichita, Texas.
Yep.
In person, live auction.
That sounds like a value to me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This was, I tell you what, scrap together like 10 grand and go to an auction. It's gonna be the greatest time of your life. So we drive out there and he puts the inventory online. He had 2 of these. So this is a 2020 Mack diesel with, this is called a Heil Durapack.
Okay.
And it had 50,000 miles.
How is that for like a trash truck? Is that high, low?
50,000 miles is nothing, dude.
Okay.
50,000 miles is like a test drive in my book. Like, yeah, I mean, it's got a Cummins diesel and it's set up to pull trash. Like this thing should go for 300, 400,000 miles.
Love it.
And so long story short, they had it posted. They had a 2019 and a 2020. And we're like, shoot, let's drive out there. I didn't have the cash. Which, by the way, is something I didn't know, that you had to have cash and pay right then.
Wow. Okay.
And so I called a credit card or a equipment financing group, and they got me pre-approved for $150 going out there, which is way more than they should not have done that. It was probably predatory almost. Yeah. So we go out there, and this was the last thing with the auction. We get to this truck, and at this point, this was the very last item in the auction. We're there for 4 hours now. We talked about just buying the Ford Explorers.
Yeah.
They were stripped, and we're like, let's just race these home. Like, this would be hilarious. Like, you could just turn around and put it on Facebook Marketplace and make money immediately.
Oh.
I mean, they were going $1,500. Like, these
For
cruises.
Ford Explorers?
Ford Explorer, police. They pulled out, like, all of the police stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like a torn down Ford Explorer with, like, I think they were all 2020 and above. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I have this thing could go for, Facebook Marketplace's exact truck is selling for $190.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to pay that much. How much can I pay? Like, it's a whole game in my head. We got it for $60,000.
What was it worth?
Oh yeah, it was worth $190. Like if I would have just taken it right there and put it on Facebook Marketplace, it would have been worth $190.
Oh my gosh, 130 grand profit.
Look at this. Yeah. So I'm sitting there. I haven't even pulled the tag off it yet. Like I had to scrub the stuff off the windows because they had like lot 207 price.
And these auctions happen all the time, all over America.
So this is the side hustle that you and I need to do immediately. Every municipality that services their own trash buys trash truck. Plano as an example. There's not many municipalities that do that, but there are some. I don't know if it's better or worse. That's another story you could talk about. But what is happening is every 5 years they're auctioning the trucks off, and they're getting a new, and it's budget free for them, right? Because they're tax dollars, it's city-based stuff. The trick here, we need to get a couple of people in Philippines, and we need to call every municipality in Texas, probably not that many, and say, hey, where do you auction your trucks off at? And that's it. And then we'll just have, buy a list. Here's the trucks at this time and where. They would easily divulge that because they want more bidders. They want more money. And then we can find where all the trucks are going and then maybe see if they're good or bad. The bonus ones are the ones where it's in person only. Yeah. Because no one from Florida is fly. I mean, some people are if they want a deal. The pros are. Yeah. Are flying in and then getting them for cheap. Gosh. And so the other thing is I only buy, there's a truck company or a garbage company called Heil, H-E-I-L, and they have an office here in Dallas. And I only buy Heil because I can make a phone call right now and in 24 hours have somebody out here fixing the truck. And so I could buy these trucks and just have them repack them, or actually refurb them, and then just pedal them. And I think you could make dumb money doing that.
I mean, this could be an 8-figure business if you just bought and sold dump trucks.
Easy. And then if you put the work behind it that no one else is doing, which is literally just call the municipalities, say, when are your scheduled auctions for the year, and what inventory are you getting rid of?
And they have to tell you that information. It's
I don't know if they have to, but they want to because they want more bidders.
I think legally they have to publicize that.
Yeah, probably. And so that would be a sweet business, I think. And if you really wanted to do it in like a low cost way, you just do the listing, inventory listing. You don't even buy them, right? And then you sell the list. Like, hey, here's the municipality auctions. Here are the trucks. And what I love about it is it's a high ticket item. Yeah. Like you could probably charge $1,000 for a list, or if you did, and then you could, for me, the reason I want to do it is then I can go and get these.
Get your own.
Get these cheap trucks.
Keep the best and then
keep the best. And then once I get one in the rear, I can sell off whatever I could go buy a smaller, this is a little big for what we need.
Yeah. What is your payment on this?
So this is $1,700.
A month?
A month.
What's your interest rate?
It wasn't too bad. I think it's like maybe 8%.
Okay, and you didn't have to put anything down?
So that's the thing. I've put nothing down on this. So I could have literally flipped this and made it a boatload of money because I financed it, right?
How would they feel if you did that? Do they want you to pay it off early, or do they want you to just keep it?
The financer? Yeah. No, these equipment financers, like they don't want you to pay it off early.
How much does it take for the average Joe to get approved by one of these equipment financing companies? Do you need good credit? How much do they pull? Or are they they're just using that as collateral and they're gonna yoink it back if you stop making payments?
It's that. So they're gonna yoink it back. It depends. I would say it's impossible to get approved, but then I'd also say it's easy. So we haven't been in business for 2 years yet.
Yeah, they always wanna see that.
And we haven't, so they don't see that. And here's the kicker. It is September when this is being recorded. I still have a couple more days to file last year's taxes, right? Yeah. So I technically don't even have taxes for the first year, like papered up. Yeah. So they couldn't really look at that and be like, all right, we can finance this guy. So
they want a pulse.
They want a pulse, exactly. Right, and it's a little sharky. Yeah. Like I would say, be careful, because I talked to like 4 other people. They were really sharky. It was like, it wasn't even a loan. It was like, if you, let's say I had the cash to pay it off, I had to pay the whole thing with the interest. So like, I'm like, that's not a loan. Like if I can't pay it off early, like this is just, now if the business supports it and you're a risk taker, fine. Yeah. But this loan doesn't have that. And so they were obviously pumped to see me get a $200,000 truck for $60,000. So if they have to take it back, they'll probably make money.
Oh, sure.
More money taking it back than me paying it off.
If your payment's $1,700 a month, let's say this had 100% route density. This truck was full, busy as it can be. How much revenue does this one truck generate? Could it?
Chris, you're not allowed to hit me with that. So like, I think it holds about 400 houses.
Okay.
Before going to the dump.
Okay.
And if you had like insane route density, you could do 800 or more, maybe
in
even
a day.
Yeah. Well, think about like just go stop, go stop, go stop, go stop.
So total hypothetical. I'm not saying this is realistic.
Yeah.
Let's say 2 trips to the dump, 800 trips
800 houses
in a day. Let's say for some weird reason you're doing 30 days a month.
Yeah.
Right?
If you broke it down per week, it's like $9 a house per week. Right?
Okay.
So 9 times 800 would be your number.
So 7,200 a day.
Yeah.
Let's say 7,000 a day times 30,000. That's
times
200 times 30 days.
Yeah.
$210,000 a month in like max potential revenue if it running and gunning.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying you would do this.
No, yeah, I would do it if I could. I mean, it's a sales, right?
But in that case, it would be like your payment on this would be less than 1% of your revenue on this.
Yeah, I mean, it would be less than 1 week, right? So you just said 7,200 a day.
Times 30 days.
Right, but the payment is $1,750, so it covers itself in a day.
Right.
Yeah, and if you ran it 5 days a week.
It covers itself in 3 hours.
Yeah. And so I called the city of Wiley, which if you're watching this, I want to win your business. We're here in Wiley, service the people.
That's right. Your tax dollars are cool.
Yeah, heck yeah. And so I talked to the previous city manager or mayor. He's a customer.
Okay.
And I was like, what would it cost? Like, what would it take for me to do Wiley? And he goes, the current vendor, who we do not speak their name, does it with 2 trucks 5 days a week. Which I thought it would have been way more than that.
And there's 60,000 people in Wiley.
Yeah.
Let's call that 20,000 homes.
Yeah.
20,000 homes, 2 trucks.
Yeah, 2 trucks. But they're running 5, they might run 7 days a week.
Well, and
I sometimes see them on the
according to the
weekends.
numbers we just broke down, like that's totally doable.
Well, so here's the thing. You win one of these city contracts, and this goes from like a fun YouTube, side hustle to like the city of McKinney, I think was $20,000 or $20 million a year. It was like 150,000 houses.
Yeah.
And I buy the bins from the same company. She's like, we can't get you bins this week because we're doing the city, or this month or 3 months, because we're doing the city of McKinney, and that's an order of $300,000.
Yeah.
So the city of McKinney just ordered $300,000.
Dude, if you got the whole city of Wiley, 20,000 homes, $40, we're talking $800,000 a month.
Yeah.
20,000 times $40.
It scales well if you can, the density, right? If you get into these cities. So like we've got 1 city contract right now that's like a micro city. And so we're trying to like just build a good reputation there and use that. And then, but the thing is, like, again, the city of Wiley can't have an outage, right? So like it would be a risk for them to do business with us. Like I can't like not pick up trash one day. So like we gotta get a little bit more scale.
Yeah.
Maybe more trucks, more employees. Like I said, we haven't even been in business for 2 years, so I don't even know if they would like open our application. And here's how this works. There's like 3 companies that can bid it, right? So there's like Republic in Plano, there's Waste Connections in McKinney, there's CWD in like Irving. But CWD has been winning everything. So the CWD guy is my North Star, and that's why I won't say anything bad about him, because there's let's call them jokes going around in the trash industry. It's very incestuous. And when you talk to these guys, the CWD guy started, I think like 1980, and he only services Dallas, and from what I hear, he's got just 200 million in just trucks alone. He has his own recycling facility, and he wins every city contract. The joke that I was kind of alluding to is he's like a secret billionaire.
Yeah.
Because he's privately held. No one knows if he has any investors. He started Truck and Trailer, just did time.
Yeah.
Put 40 years in, and you'll be a billionaire, right? Just obviously there's a lot of shit that happens between now and then, but he's driving from, I think, like Irving to Nevada, like service them, and then having his guys drive back.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't opened other lots or anything. So the CWD guy is probably the good North Star, because you can become a billionaire just doing the trash in Dallas.
All right, so let's break down the numbers of this business. This is your 2nd year, you're wrapping up. What did you do in revenue and profit your 1st year?
Oh, you hit me with the profit. Revenue, I know we were in the 300 ballpark.
300,000-ish?
Which was, ARR. So like it's subscribers, which is great because that
Annual
means
recurring revenue.
Right, which means that money without churn would fall over to this month or this year. I don't think we made really any profit because we were buying bins and buying the trucks. I think the other thing was I stopped operating in the business and started operating on the business. Look at that.
You started hiring people.
Yeah, hired. That's the word.
Yeah.
See how I buzzworded that on you? Man, I've been brainwashed. So we hired a driver. I think if I would have stayed in the truck, I probably could have made 50, 60, 70 grand.
Yeah.
But it would have taken away from what I was already doing. So instead, we basically hired a driver, kind of set that salary right at that point.
What do you pay your drivers?
So we pay 25 right now for our main driver who drives the big truck. And instead of being hourly, he's salary. So fixed cost, boom, boom, boom.
50 grand?
Yeah, yep, 50. Well, probably more after like bonuses and tips and stuff like that, which tip your trash driver.
Okay.
I think more people need to do that. And then we hired another one part-time, and I think he's at 17 or 18
an
hour.
And those are your only 2 employees?
Only 2 employees, and my whole like take on the business is like reinvest everything.
If for some reason you wanted to milk all the profit out of this and do it all yourself, could you hop on a truck and do all the customers you have today?
No, by myself?
Yeah, it's just
if
too
I
many
did
customers?
like 14-hour days, probably. Yeah, it's too many customers, and then the bigger truck that we were in today isn't suited for like some back roads.
Okay.
So we have a smaller truck basically right now that runs strictly like the difficult houses, and then the bigger truck does the main bulk, the density houses.
Yeah.
So like if I did it, I would either have to hop in and out of a truck, or I would have to go to the dump a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Like if I had the littler truck.
Yeah.
Because it would fill up. So it's like, we've kind of figured it out on that sense, but I think it would be a 14, 16-hour day.
Yeah.
So we get started at 5:30 every day.
Okay. What's like the most revenue you've done in the shortest amount of time? Like when you really fill up your routes, Monday to Wednesday or whatever, how much revenue do you do?
A Wednesday is good for us because there's 400 houses on a Wednesday. But when you talk about revenue, it's subscription, right? And then it's billed 3-month increments.
Yeah.
So I could hit you with a crazy number.
Well, just hit me with good, bad, like realistic.
Right, so like a crazy number is like when those first 200 houses signed up, right? So that's 20 grand basically getting dropped. And now we've been doing this for over a year, so it's more than 20 grand. So like if I'm doing, let's say 40 grand a month, and then that 20 grand hits, there could be a $60,000, $70,000 month, but then I gotta milk that for 3 months, right?
Yep.
So like you can really do good, and then you gotta manage the money.
Yeah.
I would say like a Wednesday is how we started. Wednesday's still the best because we picked up this neighborhood and a neighboring neighborhood right next to us. And that truck holds up to 400 houses. Right now we'll do 350 probably in that ballpark with one trip to the dump. And so my driver today, it would make you smile. Basically, I've had him do 400 houses in like 4 hours. And then he'll go to the dump and be done in a 5-hour day. That comes with like a lot of practice and doing it every day and optimizing the route. But yeah, he can do 400 houses. I would say he could probably do 400 houses in 4 hours.
So that's like, if it's $9 per pickup,
yeah.
That's $3,600 in 4 hours of work.
Yeah.
$900 an hour. Back to route density, like you could, like if you were doing 40 hours a week of just picking up trash, that'd be like $1,000 an hour. In pickups.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
The density is everything. I didn't know that when we started. But then when you do a neighborhood like this, so like we can do some surrounding neighborhoods. We can do 3 cities in a day, and that's not like a brag. That's like you're driving too much.
Yeah.
Like I would rather have a neighborhood with 400 houses.
What do your insurance costs run?
Insurance costs vary. So like right now I think we're at like $1,600, like $800 a truck.
Is that like liability insurance or just insurance on the truck?
That's a good question. So we have general liability insurance of like $1 million, and I think that was $1,200 for the year.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
$100 a month.
It wasn't nuts.
So the real insurance costs are just on the trucks.
If he hits something, if someone hits him, we've got to cover their accident, we've got to cover our accident, and insurance goes through the roof when you're operating heavy machinery.
So you've got one truck that's $700 a month in payments, one $1,700, right? So you're looking at $2,400, and then you got $1,600 per month per truck for insurance.
Yep.
So $5,600 a month just in your trucks and insurance. Then you got gas.
Yeah, so we're spending about, let's call it $200 a day.
In gas?
In gas.
Per truck or total?
Total.
What is that per month? Because like how many days are you driving?
We're driving 5 days a week.
Okay, so 20 days times 200, so 10,000 a month in gas?
Yep.
Plus 5,600, so 16, call it 16 grand. And then you got your monthly storage, $200. So And then you got your salary. So $50,000 to $60,000 a month in revenue and about $30,000 in costs, including your salaries.
Yeah.
That's good. That's 40% margins.
Yeah, I would say there's other stuff that's not being calculated. We got a tire replaced today. We get a tire
Repairs
replaced every 2 weeks.
Oil changes.
Yeah, oil changes, repairs and maintenance. Obviously these bins will eat your life away because they're about $50 to buy, pick them up, take them to the storage unit. The storage unit where we store the bins at is $400 a month.
Okay.
And then we got to deliver them where we pay for that and we pay the drivers. And then obviously the marketing costs on Facebook, and that can vary from $30 a customer to, $100 a customer. So we're spending a couple thousand on that. And then Google pay-per-click. So it slowly adds up. And then little things that you'll get nickeled and dimed with, like I say nickel and dime with, we have a work phone in the truck with a GPS tracker on that tells them the routes and where to go. And then I went ahead and installed, they're called Samsara. It's a GPS tracker in the truck, and that'll give me the OBD2 sensors, like if there's like high temperature or engine light comes on or stuff like that. And then we have forward-facing dash cams that record for like a month storage in case something happens. Yeah, there's a lot. I would say there's a little bit of nickel and dime stuff that kind of adds up with time.
Yeah, so if someone's watching this and they're excited, they want to try this, where can they go to learn more, to get help from you, etc.?
If somebody wanted to reach out, they could go to aka.spencerscott.com. And the reason I'd have them go there instead of Lone Star Trash is because you're going to fall into my ad strategy. And I don't want to waste money on people who just want to see ads.
It's too bad because they might want to buy a t-shirt.
You could buy a t-shirt. Yeah, shop.LoneStarTop. We have a bunch of fun merch.
Okay. Well, thanks, Spencer.
Yeah, definitely. Nice to see you, neighbor.
Yep.